Hello everybody, it's Ken LeBrew once again from the Shotgun team, and here's our video tip for today in our 30 tips in 30 days. This tip is going to focus on the filter panel. The filter panel is a very powerful part of Shotgun, and there's a lot of nuances to it that if you don't know about them, you might not be using it as efficiently as you possibly can. So we're going to look at all different aspects of the filter panel, from showing it, from docking it, to controlling the refresh, and so on. So here I am, I'm at the task page, and obviously whenever you're talking filters, that's relevant to all the pages you have inside of Shotgun where data is exposed, whether it's shots, assets, people, and custom pages. We already know that if we want to enable or disable a filter to control what data or what information we're receiving on this page, we go to our filter flyout, we can see all the different options that we have, and right now I just want to see the modeling tasks, the modeling pipeline steps. So I click on that modeling pipeline steps. Now looking over at our columns section, we can see that only the modeling pipeline step is what is being displayed. But I'd like to see my Gantt display, so to get rid of my filters, I click anywhere in the UI, and now I can go into my Gantt display and make the adjustments that I need. Great. But now I want to go and change my filter. So I'll go back to the filter settings, I'm going to disable modeling, I'm going to enable rig. And now, again, I've got to get rid of my filter panel here. So I click away, and now I can go to the Gantt and I can go make the adjustments, just like we did a minute ago. Now, there is a great hotkey you can use to show and hide your filter panel. It's just the F key. By hitting the F key, we're now going to display the filter panel. Hit the F key again, the filter panel goes away. So yes, you could use the hotkey of F to show and hide your filter panel. But what if you want to dock the filter panel? Well, that's actually quite easy. Let me show you how to dock the filter panel. This time, I'll go back to the filter panel, and this little icon right here in the very top right, I'm going to click on that, and now you'll see that my filter panel is docked along the right-hand side. I can come along now and start to enable and disable any one of the possible filters, and I have full access to my Gantt display the entire time. I never have to get rid of my filter panel just to see the Gantt display. And of course, at any time, if you want to undock the filters, you've got the little X up in the right corner now. I click it, and that filter panel is no longer docked, but it's available as a flyout. I'm going to dock it one more time just for demonstration purposes, because I want you to understand when you dock your filter panel on a page such as the task page, that means the filter panel will be docked on all your pages, such as the shots page, your asset page, your people page, even custom pages. Docking the filter panel or undocking it is a global setting. Now let's take a look at the redraw and the refresh of the Shotgun pages as you're enabling and disabling different filters. As we already know, as we enable and disable different options in the filter panel, Shotgun has to redraw the page with the new information based on the filter that you're using or not using. Now, the speed of the refresh is going to be determined by how many columns you have, how many records are displayed, and also how many results are being displayed per page. Looking at the bottom center of the UI, you'll see a display that is telling me with no filters enabled, currently I am looking at 1 to 100 of the 400 tasks I could be displaying. You control the result amount by coming over here. Right now you'll see it reads 100 per page. If I click on this, you get a flyout, and it's telling me I can change the results from 25, which is faster, 50, fast, 75, medium, 100, slow, 200, slowest, and I can choose all results. Now I'm going to be displaying 400 tasks at one time. Now as I start to enable and disable different filters, you're going to notice the refresh is going to change depending upon how many tasks I am displaying. And in all honesty, even with these 400 tasks, it's not that bad, but imagine enabling and disabling filters 100 times a day. Imagine you have thousands of tasks, thousands of results. This can get annoying every time you want to enable multiple filters. And that's why there's a modifier key you can hold down while enabling and disabling multiple filters, and you will be controlling when the refresh will take place. It'll only happen when you release the modifier key. On the Mac, it's the command key. On Windows and Linux, it's your control key. So I'm going to hold down the command key because I'm on a Mac here. I'll enable Art, no refresh. I'll enable In Progress, No refresh. Now I release the command key and we get the refresh. Now we're looking at only the art pipeline task and the status of those that are in progress. I'll hold down the command key again and I'll disable in progress, no refresh. I'll choose ready to start and final, and then I'll release the hotkey again. So this is a great tip for controlling when Shotgun's going to refresh the page based upon the filters that you choose. Obviously when you're choosing multiple filters. That's pretty cool, I think. I'm going to click the clear all filter to turn off all the filters I have down here. So we're back to having no filters enabled, and Shotgun's going to take a second to refresh. Now the next tip has to do with this little equal sign that you see appear whenever you bring your cursor next to a category's name, such as status, pipeline step, assigned to, and when I bring my cursor over it, it reads is. Now if I click on it, you're going to see it now has an equal sign with a slash through it, and when I bring my cursor over it, it reads is not. I'm going to put this back to being is right now. I'll focus on the pipeline steps again, but right now we know with it set to equal sign is, if I click the modeling filter, I'm going to see all the modeling. If I enable the rigs, now I see the modeling and the rig, okay? So what we're saying is filter pipeline step is model and rig. Let me disable both of these. I'll come back up to the pipeline step category and enable the is not. So now we have the slash through the equal key. I'll click on the modeling. So now by putting a check for modeling, I'm telling Shotgun pipeline steps is not modeling. It's everything else. So now I see rig, art, and surface. These are the ones without the checks. If I add rig this time, rig is now removed as the pipeline step as far as the filtering because this icon is set to is not. And a really cool part about this is not just that you can use it as I'm doing it now, but you can use it as a toggle to invert what the filtering is displaying and not displaying. For example, with model and rig enabled, I come back to our is not toggle, and I click on it, and now we're seeing the pipeline steps of the rigging and the modeling. We're not seeing the art or the surface. So this is a very handy little tool right here for controlling what is being displayed. Granted, in this case, I only have 4 pipeline steps displayed, but as you know, you can have tons of different filters you can enable and disable. That's where this really comes in handy. Looking at the assigned to list, I can choose show more. I'll scroll down, I can choose show more. Now we got show more. So here's all these people that are working on this project, but I want to see everything but Renee, Tony, and Ken. So now instead of me enabling all of these, I just enable the is not option and I click Ken, Tony, Renee. Now I'm seeing all the other people that are working on this project in my display, in my task page. That is why that little feature is so cool. All right, so that's our tip for today, or actually 2 quick tips on how to use the filter panel more efficiently in our 30 tips in 30 days.